this broadcast to bring you something much more interesting. I want you to imagine yourself standing before a door. It is an odd yet inviting door. You unlock this door with the key of your imagination. When you open this door, you find yourself in a strange new world. A world made of horror, adventure, and fantasy. A world that pushes the boundaries of what you know and what you don't. To all those that pass through the door, I bid thee welcome, for you are now in the realm of the Geek Zone.
What?
Are you still working on the wormhole thing?
Yeah, I think I've got it figured out how to do it, so I'm going to build this prototype. We're going to see if we can send something to another dimension and back again.
How long until you're done?
Why?
Do you know what today is?
Nope.
Review day. Time to do the show.
Is that all?
It's also supposed to be the Valentine's Day special.
I'll do it some other time. I've got to get this done.
You have to do it today.
Why?
Besides being contractually obligated, your fans will throw an ever-loving fit.
Our fans?
Fans of the show?
We have fans. Wait, you mean people watch this crap? Okay, God! Roll camera! Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, and welcome to the Geek Zone. I'm your host, Justin T. Sutherland, and it looks like it's time for another review. Apparently. Today we'll be reviewing American Dragon Jake Long Attack of the Dark Dragon for the Nintendo DS. What does that have to do with Valentine's Day? So let's jump into it.
He's hot like a frozen sun. He's young and fast, he's the chosen one. People are not bragging. He's the American Dragon.
Disney's American Dragon Jake Long Attack of the Dark Dragon is a video game for the Nintendo DS, based on the animated series American Dragon Jake Long. Attack of the Dark Dragon for the Nintendo DS lets players take control of Jake, who must punch and kick his way through an onslaught of villains to save Rose from the Dark Dragon. American Dragon Attack of the Dark Dragon boasts 5 distinct worlds, with more than 20 levels. When Jake transforms into the American Dragon, players can release Dragonfire, perform jump attacks, whip with the tail, and take flight in 3D with up to 4 friends in wireless mode. Now the real question, how does it play? The controls are both simplistic and complicated. Simplistic in that there isn't a lot to learn. Complicated in that the game does not tell you at all what the buttons do, so you spend the first few moments randomly mashing buttons trying to figure out what you can and cannot do. In terms of response time, the controls work well enough, but I get the feeling of being stiff, as if there's no fluidity to the controls at all. So controls get a 4.2 out of 5. The graphics in this game are bland. Kinda like Jay Leno's jokes.
And police in Austria say they're looking for a bank robber who wears a Barack Obama mask during his holdups. At first, the guy tried using a Sarah Palin mask, but nobody took him seriously. So he had to go back.
This isn't funny!
In terms of style, they look like Nintendo 64. The colors are dull and not nearly as bright and vibrant as their cartoon counterparts. In terms of graphics, this game isn't anything special to write home about. So an average grade of 3.6 out of 5. Pick up and play factor is a decent score due to there being no thought process needed to play. You just run in a straight line and beat up whatever enemy comes your way. This game actually has a tutorial to help, but it feels incomplete. It's as if the creators took too much for granted and just assumed that the player would know the basics of the game. Which, okay, we know the directional pad moves us and so on, but it would have been nice if they would have held our hands a little bit, at least through the first level. Pick up and play factor gets a 4 out of 5. Replay factor is low, mainly due to the one-up-play factor being low, but we'll get to that in a second. Once you turn this game off, you will find yourself not interested in playing ever again. So this is one of those games that you play once, sit on the shelf, and think, why? Replay factor gets a 1 out of 5. The sound in this game is just as dull and as bland as the graphics. They are so bad, Donald Trump actually showed an emotion after hearing this thing. They seem to be going for a Chinese theme to help set you in the atmosphere of a Chinese dragon doing the voodoo that is known as Kung Fu, but it only succeeds in giving you a sad, sinking feeling in your heart. Sound gets a 0.5 out of 5. The story is as basic as you can get. One of the main villains of the show has come and kidnapped the main hero's girlfriend, so now Superman has to go save Lois from Luthor. Oh, sorry, wrong story. But you can see where I got confused because it's the same old plot we have heard over and over and over again. Boring. Story gets a 3 out of 5. Wanna play factor stinks like a dead skunk in the middle of the road.
You got your dead skunk in the middle of the road.
Oh my gosh, how bad is Wanna Play Factor? I played it for a good 30 minutes, and then after playing it, I just wanted to quit. I had to force myself to play the first 30 minutes, in hope of it getting better. Guess what? It didn't. Wanna Play Factor gets a 0.9 out of 5. Now let's tally up the score. Control, 4.2 out of 5, B-. Graphics, 3.6 out of 5, C-. Pickup and play factor, 4 out of 5, B-. Replay factor, 1 out of 5, F-. Sound, 0.5 out of 5, F-. Story, 3 out of 5, D-. Wanna play factor, 0.9 out of 5, F-. Total, 17.2 out of 35, giving American Dragon Jake Long Attack of the Dark Dragon for the Nintendo DS a 49%. Congrats, Dragon, you get a grade of F-. Now, would I recommend this? Well, unless you have been paying about as much attention to this review as Congress is to current events, then you should know my answer. No. N-O spells get as far away from this crap as possible. This thing stinks. This thing is boring. There is nothing special. I had no fun in playing it. The only enjoyment I am getting out of this thing is cutting it down. So, no, I do not recommend it. Now, if you excuse me, I have a chicken, a weed eater, and some Cool Whip. I'm gonna go do something that is fun. Later.
Not much of a Valentine's Day special.
What do you want from me?
Something better than that.
What if I wrote a love letter to a girl and asked her to be my Valentine?
That would be something. Who are you gonna write it to?
Oh, you know that girl from the movie Blindside?
Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, her.
But she's way out of your league. What?
Nothing. Bring up word. Dear Sandra, roses are red, violets are blue. Anime is awesome, and so are you. Your hair is like heaven, queen of my heart. I wish to ask you something, but where shall I start? You whose eyes glisten like diamonds in moonlight, whose lips are as soft as rosebuds, and voice fills my soul with delight. Oh, Sandra, sweet Sandra, grant me this one thing at this time. Won't you be my Valentine? Love, Justin the Geek Sutherland.
That is what you're going with?
Yep, send it.
Sent.
Hey Justin, you got a letter.
Oh yeah? What's it say?
Dear Justin, thanks for the letter. If you write me again, I will get a restraining order. Thanks, Sandra.
We now return you to your normal broadcast. Thank you.
Hans Mole Man Productions present Man Getting Hit by Football. Ooh.